What up, the real MVPs here, and today we're gonna go over my top jig trailers. Let's get it. Alright, number one would be the Yum Crawl Chunk, man. It's gonna be the Yum Crawl Chunk. Check this out. It's gonna be more finesse. I can swim it, and also it just gives a smaller profile. So if you need something small, if you need something finesse, if you need something that you can also possibly have to swim out of the cover that you're fishing, maybe you're flipping and maybe you want to still swim it, the Yum Crawl Chunk is a good trailer because, like I said, you can flip it, you can swim it, but also it's a compact size that you can use on a jig. These don't even have a particular order. You can exchange these and use these however you need, however you want. I'm not going to rank them from top 5 to top 1. I'm not going to do that. Number two, let's get it. It's going to be the Missile Baits Baby Destroyer. Yeah, it's a different profile than a crawl. It's a slim profile, so I can put it through those places that you might not be able to get a fatter trailer. I can drag it, I can flip it. This bait right here is it's not gonna be one of those baits that you swim, but it's definitely a good dragging trailer. Like if you cast it and you're just dragging a jig back, this is one of those baits that you will need. Number 3 is going to be the Yum Christy Crawl. Bass Pro used to make a crawfish very similar to this, but they discontinued it. So now I'm forced to say this bait. If they didn't discontinue it, then I would probably pick the Bass Pro version of this bait. But my third one is going to be the Yum Christy Crawl. If you want a regular crawfish presentation, if you want your jig to look like a regular crawfish, go with the Yum Christy Crawl. You can swim it, you can flip it. It's a decent profile bait. That's going to be my number 3. Number four is going to be the Strike King Rage Crawl. You got another regular crawfish presentation, but this has more vibration. This has more kick, more thump in the water than the Christy Crawl. So if the fish are more active, this is when you go to this Rage Crawl. If the fish are less active, I'm going with the Christy Crawl. If you need something more subtle, then go with the Christy Crawl. But if you need something with a little more kick, a little more vibration, a little more thump in the water, that's when you go to the Rage Crawl. If you know the fish are more active as well, that's when you go to the Rage Crawl. That's going to be my number 4. I really don't want to give you this last one. I really don't want to give you this last one. Alright, number 5, the last one, the Juice. You made it this far in the video, you will be rewarded for this. Okay, the Molix Creature. That is it. This bait is money, and I've kept it under wraps for a long time. But you know, sometimes when you make these YouTube videos, you have to give information out. So there you have it. There is the Juice, the money, the bait that I've kept secret for a while. The Molix Creature. Now this bait does not have swimming action. This bait is not a bait you're going to swim back to you. This is a bait you're going to flip. And this is also a bait you probably would drag back to you. But I'm telling you, this bait, it's just a fatter profile. If you need something larger, you know, something bigger to present to the bass, this is going to be that bait. If you need something with less action, like if you need something like a chunk style trailer, this is going to be that bait. This right here, the Molix Creature, is juice. It's money. I'm telling you, it's money. You made it this far, shh, we ain't gonna tell too many people about it. So you know what I'm saying, keep that under wraps. We gonna keep that between everybody that watches this video. So if they didn't watch this video, it's their loss. Now, let's go over when you would throw these baits. The Yum Crawl Chunk that's going to be more of a winter time and a summer bait. The Yum Craw Chunk is going to be one of those ones. Now, all of these baits you can throw all year long. I'm trying to give you more in detail when you maybe want to throw these baits. So, the Yum Craw Chunk going to be good for if you're in grass. You know, it's a small profile bait, so you're not going to be getting all this stuff hung up on appendages and flappers and crawfish, you know, claws and all that stuff. So what you want to do, use this, you know, around grass, around cover, but mainly it's going to be, this is a bait that I'm going to in the winter time and in the summer. The Destroyer is going to be a bait I'm probably going to go to in the winter time and in the spring. The Christy Craw is good for all year long. I mean, like I said, all these baits you can pretty much use all year long, but this is going to be one of those ones that you would intermix with all the others. You know, I don't just throw one jig trailer, I like mixing it up. So Rage Craw is another all year long bait. You cannot beat a Rage Craw. It's just one of the best baits out there that you can use. But what I will say is all year long. You know, all year long you can mix, you know, the Christy Craw and the Rage Craw. You can intermix those two for sure. You know, if you just need a simple jig trailer, Christy Craw, Rage Craw, you can't go wrong with either one of those. The Molix Creature is going to be one I'm going to use in the winter, in the spring, and pre-spawn and spawn. You know, during these times, you know, like when it's cold, pre-spawn, spawn, you know, when you need a jig with less action, but something that the fish is going to go for, a fatter profile, this is going to be one of those baits. So, you know, even in muddy water, you know, it might be surprising that with less action that this is a decent bait, but staying to muddy water, I have used this bait and have had success. We have the Yum Craw Chunk. We have the Missile Baits Baby Destroyer. You can use the Destroyer as well, but the Missile Baits Baby Destroyer. The Yum Christy Craw, the Strike King Rage Craw, and the Molix Creature. And these are all of my favorite jig trailers. These are baits that I use religiously. These are baits that you probably won't find me without. These are baits that definitely have had success with. I'm not just telling you for marketing purposes. I'm not sponsored by none of these guys. And I almost didn't want to tell you, you know, some of these baits because I use them. You know what I'm saying? But it's part of the game. It's part of what we do. We give the information for you to go be a better angler and for you to show who the real MVPs are. Remember, that's what it is. Real MVP, no Googan. You heard me? Real MVP, no Googan. There ain't no Googan baits on this damn list. So, take it how you want it.